Now, my mother was a terrific cook, really was. She did some good food, except for her white sauce, which was absolutely bloody woeful. It was all, I don't know about your mothers, but I'm talking about to the older audience here, but her idea of a white sauce was actually milk thickened with corn flour and lots of parsley. She liked parsley. My father had a big parsley patch, so she liked that. So we had lots of parsley, and it actually put me off. I don't know what she had against cauliflower, but she always put it on cauliflower, and actually she put it on carrots too. It put me off cauliflower for about 20 years. I thought that's what cauliflower tasted like. Anyway, this is the real cheese sauce. It actually starts off as a bechamel, which is a French favourite. You know, they're a saucy lot. So the bechamel, which is a white sauce, and then you make it into a cheese sauce, or a Mornay sauce as they call it, by adding lots of cheese. So first of all, what we start off with is about 3 tablespoons of butter that we melt, you know, fairly gently. You don't want it to brown, because otherwise it makes your sauce nutty and brown. There are some things that, this is called a roux that I'm making now, that you do make a brown roux for. This is not one of them. And you do it very gently, guys. Please don't put it over a high heat. And what I've got over here, I keep looking at 2 cameras, because I've got James up here with one, because he's showing off that he can look in the pot, and I've got you down here. What I've got over there is a litre of milk that I'm heating. It's very important that your milk's hot. Now, my version of making the sauce is very, very different to most, and it's the best. It really is. Because what it does is invariably you end up with a lovely, smooth sauce. The classical way, or the one that most people use, is they add the milk little by little. Doesn't happen in our house. What I now do, I've got 3 tablespoons of butter. So to that, I then add 3 tablespoons of plain flour. And I cook that gently. As I said to you, I don't want it to brown. So we just mix that in really, really well. If you feel like I do that it needs a little bit more flour, put it in, because it was a bit liquid. Now, the whole thing about this is I'm making quite a bit, purely and simply because I always put some in plastic takeaway containers and put it in the freezer, because it's really handy to have the sauce lurking around rather than having to make it every time. So just keep on mixing. Don't walk away. It is very important that this doesn't burn or overcook. So just keep on mixing it. Keep an eye. I always say, keep an eye on your milk. You know, what do we know about milk? If you don't look at it, it will boil over. I can hear it. It's getting close. You can actually hear milk when it's happening. Yes. Turn that off so you can hear it if you're listening. It's a bit like I can always remember, and I'm trying to think of his name, the man in Sydney who says, you make bolognese sauce with your ears. You can hear when you add the next step. I don't know about that, but I can hear when the milk's ready. So we've got our litre here. Now, as I said to you, the normal thing is you'd add that little by little. My version, which is far better, you add the lot all at once and you whisk like heck. Now, I promise you, you'll get a smooth white sauce. Now, we've all made white sauce and it's ended up lumpy and awful. Well, this way, I guarantee. And if it doesn't work, you can come and kick my dunny door down. That's an old Australian saying, isn't it? If somebody doesn't do anything you like, you come and kick their dunny door down. I don't know where that came from. Right, so you keep on whisking until it starts to thicken, which is happening now. Yeah, looking good now. We add some seasoning, definitely some salt, quite a bit of salt. You have to be a bit careful with your salt, because you sometimes find that your cheese is a bit salty. Now, I've got some white pepper here, sort of white. Not quite as white as I'd like it to be, but you normally add a white pepper to your sauce so that you don't get black flecks through it. What we also add is lots of cheese. I won't add all of that. So we've got a bucket of cheese there, and we add that, and we're just going to cook that and taste it and see if we need to add more seasoning, more cheese, whatever. So that's basically all there is to it. We need to melt that cheese through it, and we need to taste it and check the seasoning and check for cheese. And I know I can hear you. I know you're all sitting out there and you're saying, why is it the world's second best cheese sauce? And I'll tell you why it is. Because the world's first best cheese sauce would use the king of cheeses, Gruyere. And I'm not using that today. I'm just using a nice tasty cheese. So that's the reason. So you don't have to write into me. That's the reason it's the world's second best cheese sauce. All right, guys. That's about all there is to it. And as I said to you, put it in some containers, label it, of course, with the date, and stick it in the freezer. Oh, I could eat that just like it is. That is absolutely beautiful. Well done, Ian.